I mean, I can't tell you how many legal notices, FIRs, etc. I had to handle all for my artists.
Now, talking about the recent sensation, which is Husn by Anuj.
Because I was waiting that, we have that one breakout song that everyone covers in that particular way where it almost becomes annoying to hear it again.
And what about MC Stan?
That guy's a beast, man.
Yeah.
He's a beast. His community is probably the strongest community in the country, right? It's so funny that he puts out a song and within an hour and a half it's trending at number 1 on YouTube.
The kingmaker behind artists like Anuj Jain, Zayden, DJ Chetas. I am talking about Aayushman Sinha, who is a media mughal in his own way. And we spoke about how he makes brands out of these artists. So tune in into this episode if you want to understand how the music industry, how agencies and the media works.
डीडो आपके बारे में मैंने पहले कब सुना था और किससे सुना था?
रात से ही सुना होगा, कब सुना होगा वो?
करेक्ट. He said that अगर कोई भी टैलेंट को आयुष्मान जैसा मिल जाता है, कोई पार्टनर, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, टैलेंट मैनेजर, whatever, he sorted. And then I asked him why. And then he just said one thing in his Rashtrapati Hindi tone, which I have written here as well. अगर आयुष्मान का टैलेंट उसको कुछ भी बोलता है, वो कुछ भी करेगा, वो जी जान रात सुबह सब बराबर करते, he'll give it a shot and he'll make that happen. And that's what he had.
That is sweet of him.
I still
Not entirely true, but yes, definitely sweet of him.
But why do people have this perception here? Because उसके बाद तो I keep seeing this, like be it Nitin, who I speak to a lot, be it other people in the industry, जिसके बारे में भी आपके बारे में पूछूं या बात होती है, तो ये आता है कि same what Raja said, probably 20-30% lesser, but that only. ऐसा कैसे perception है? Like,
I don't know. I think we just don't follow any fixed framework. So what people think might be unattainable, it is probably attainable. You just need to sort of take a different route to it. I think that's what we've always done.
Yeah.
The good part about artist management, and since you're in management as well, is that there's no playbook. We have nothing to learn from. We have nothing to build off of. Luckily, people in our past have not done things as creatively before. So अब हम लोग के पास आता है, so we can do whatever we want. It's a blank canvas where we're allowed to paint it the way we like, and that gives you enough freedom to want to be able to navigate things very differently.
Right.
And I think that's all that I've learned. And most of the asks are normally from other people. So if Raj needs something done, for example, he needs it from someone else. I feel like I'm a great judge of personality. I feel like I'm able to read a person really well and understand what they need, what they're willing to do, etc. pretty easily. So it's just about finding the right balance and making the other person also feel like, okay, they're doing something for you, but they're getting a lot back in return as well. So I think it's just about being able to read people really well and helping them achieve that balance. That makes things very smooth.
And this was a later question, but abhi ye topic aa gaya, so I wanted to ask you, mentioned this, that what you do has enabled you to become the smartest person in the room. Now my take on that is that when I speak to so many marketing POCs of different edtech, fintech companies, whatever, and then I'm working with creators who are creative and CMOs who always want out of the box things, and then there are marketing teams जो थोड़ी execution level पे देखती है. मेरे को इतने perspectives मिल जाते हैं, different perspectives of what's working, what's not working. I am able to be the best CMO or like a marketing head for X brand who is in the same niche, and that's why I feel not smarter, but at least I'm the smarter one there. Is it the same for you? Like, why did you mention
100%. I feel it may not be the smartest person in the room, but definitely the strongest generalist in that entire room. Because the beauty of artist management, and I think you'll agree with this, is we dive deep into every single thing that we have to do. We're diving deep into regular news because we need to understand what's happening in and around us. We're diving deep into finance and accounts because we're running our own businesses. We're deep into understanding how we need to run those better. We're doing our best in terms of outbound outreach, trying to speak to as many new people as possible, trying to build as many connects as possible, trying to expand our network as much as possible. And at this time where you just keep getting hungrier, right? You want to keep up going. You want to go higher up the ladder when you're trying to speak to someone. So earlier if you were speaking to a marketing manager, you now want to try and get in touch with the CMO and try to pick up a bigger mandate. So those things keep happening. And
legal.
On legal, you are absolute. I mean, I can't tell you how many legal notices, FIRs, etc. I've had to handle all for my artists or for the talent we work with so many times. In Raj's case, for example, now anything legal in his life comes up, he'll just instantly message me saying iske upar kya focus karna hai, kya karna hai, bata de. And luckily ChatGPT is a great way of dealing with a lot of things also.
Nice.
So you're going deep into legal, you're going deep into finance, you're going deep into news, you're going deep into regular operations. You're interacting with so many different people. Over the past 2 years, we've had to do a lot of government licensing as well, because in certain states and cities, a lot of people try to shut down our shows. So we then need to reach out to the government officials at that place. We need to reach out to the ruling party. We need to speak to them, explain our case, put that forward. So that was something I'd never done in the past. My first brand deal was done directly by me. My first show was booked directly by me. My first show we produced was done by me. The first time I had to deal with the government official, I had to do it myself. So a lot of the things I've done myself. So I've done the grassroots of all of it and learned from it. And now I obviously have a very big team to help me through it. But just the fact that I've learned so much on the ground, it gives me a lot more knowledge per se to be able to handle such situations.
Got it. And one aspect which I have seen you in is that you're very close to your friends and family. I've seen you in receptions, weddings, parties and different places, and आप हमेशा मुझे ऐसे लगते हो कि you're not doing it for like the money. That's the vibe you get. Like मतलब मेरे को vibe ऐसी आती है कि money is secondary for you. It's the people's dream around you which you fulfill, and when you fulfill that, that's the satisfaction you get is unbeatable. That's the vibe I get from your stories, from your reels, always whenever I've spoken to you. So what's that driving factor? Is first of all, am I correct?
You're correct that money isn't the driving factor, but that's also at a part where money has now become sort of secured. It's only then that one can say that it's no longer a driving factor. Till then you're the hungriest and you want to take as much as possible. And you're never sort of, it's never enough in your head. So money definitely plays a big role, but beyond that, I think a lot of the talent I work with are very, very close friends of mine. And their victories are my personal victories. If, for example, an Anuv becomes the biggest artist in the country, is representing the biggest artist in the country. It's directly impacting my life, my work, my team's life, our team's work, our growth. So I think this is the most symbiotic relationship any business possibly has, that if one grows, then the other will grow. It's always the talent first and us later. And that's how we've always kept it. Like our artists come first and we fall back much behind everything that they're doing. I think you'd feel the same way as well when you're able to grow. You're able to see your creator doing substantially well. You will automatically understand that, okay, this is my growth is directly linked to, like, a lot of people still know you as finance with Sharan's manager, and that obviously that image sticks with you. I've always been known as DJ Chetas' manager because that's how I started off, and that's where I got discovered, and that's where other people started hearing of me. So we're directly linked to our talent, and I think that's beautiful because there's no, like, you can't have more skin in the game than that. And it's a very strong partnership. If your artist respects that, then it's like the best kind of friendship one can. And simultaneously, while I was doing this, I also met with Chetas once again. I had got Chetas to play for my college festival, and then the next year he called me up randomly and he said that we had obviously stayed in touch because he was always playing at these clubs and I wanted to keep going, so I would keep trying to text him to let me in. And then he reached out saying that, my manager has just I'm no longer working with my ex-manager. I want a new manager to take over, and I think you can do the job. I had not seen success in artist management before, and I was not that was definitely not something I was looking at all. But he was like, I think this is something you can do. Give it a shot and see what you would like.
But why do you think he did that? What did he see in you? Just like one?
I have no idea. And he, just like I've said, he's one of the best. Even when it comes to artists, he's like one of the first people to tell me that, look at this artist, this person's going to blow up. And in most scenarios that has been the case. So he's a great A&R, he's a great judge of people also. So he was one of the first people to tell me that, give it a shot, see how it goes and do it. And then I was like, fine. Then he was like, what do you want? And I didn't have any number in my mind or anything. I was just like, that time I was still sort of broken. I still didn't know what to do. I had a good thing going on with social media. I didn't know if I'll be able to commit enough to this as well. But he said, you just tell me what you need and we'll get it sorted. So I started off with him at a 20,000 salary. And the one thing I always liked was hosting people and taking them out. So me and my college friends, we would keep going to a club every weekend. So there was this one club where he would play called Royalty, and he said that I'll give you 2 bottles of whichever alcohol you want at that club once in a month, and you can use that and do whatever you want. So मेरा खर्चा पूरा zero हो गया वो night का, and for a college kid, free alcohol was the best thing one could ask for. So it was a very greedy decision at that time, saying that okay, you're getting $20,000 as a college student, which is not bad at all. Plus you're getting this, plus you're getting to work on something which is so exciting. Let's see how it can go. And yeah, that's how my journey with Chetas started. We started a TV show, we started a radio show. I started running a social media. We ran DJ Mac campaigns. We did a lot of things on the marketing side, which I thought I was much stronger at. And with him, I also learned how to work on a live event, how to produce it better, how to handle things, how to tour, how to put together travel plans, etc. So my entire learning journey started with him. And I think people saw the success we had together, and that's how my path as an artist manager really started off.
Got it. And LinkedIn also, because it's one of my favorite platforms, also I have to talk about it.
You're a top voice also on LinkedIn, no?
Yeah, that just, I've been there for quite a while. Like, the reason I was surprised at 2016 is because I think I'm one of the very, very early movers at LinkedIn. When I was in college in second year in 2019 is when I had started LinkedIn.
I had started way before that.
Exactly.
I was in my first year of college. We had this thing called the corporate interface cell, which was like the entrepreneurship cell of sorts at my college, and I was a part of that, and I was responsible for outreach. So a lot of the outreach at that time outside of your personal network would happen on LinkedIn.
Exactly. So that's what I tell people. Ki in your college you're just like, restricted.
It's the best.
Restricted to that circle, but LinkedIn is where you get out of that circle.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best to get in touch with, and it's crazy like the kind of responses you can get at times.
Yeah.
The miss to hit ratio is very high, but
the hit to miss ratio.
Yeah, the number of people that will actually respond to you.
Yeah. But still, it at least gives you a platform, a place to have a shot.
Yeah, you have a chance to put your word out. And I think people do it more smartly like you do, where you obviously put out a lot more content around it.
Correct.
The likelihood of that working out is a lot higher.
I mean, if I speak about my LinkedIn, in like December, we got a brand. It was a phone brand who came to me directly on LinkedIn. Like I did nothing. I didn't even reach out to that brand. That brand head reached out to me. He said, "We have seen your work. Let's work together." Bro, it's the biggest deal I've cracked in the last 2.5 years of working.
You must have taken your sales team for a ride that day, saying, "De kaise bhi hota hai."
Yeah, I keep telling them that. Ye to mere se aaya, all the time. I keep telling them that. But yeah, LinkedIn, I think it makes you discoverable. When you reach out, it just makes it easier. अगर मैं भी किसी को reach out कर रहा हूँ, वो मेरा profile भी देख लेगा, तो they'll feel confident to at least reply कि चल ठीक है, इसको reply तो कर ही देते हैं. Seems like a good chap types करके वो निकल जाता है. And I think it's still not used. People still don't use LinkedIn as much as they should. Do you feel sometimes founders or talent managers have an ego in the sense that they don't want to reach out to any brands anymore because they feel they're too big for it? And
if anyone has that ego, and if any brand is facing that ego, please reach out to us. We will very happily work with you. We reach out to everyone on our own. I don't think talent management agencies deserve to have an ego of anything. Our job has to be ego proof. You can't sit on a... First of all, everything you've built is not built by you. It's built by the talent that you work for. You are a representation of the talent. The second you hold that ego is going to reflect on your talent as well. So don't do that. Be as your job as a talent manager is to grow the personality as much as possible, and obviously grow their business as much as possible. So please do as much outreach as you can.
Got it. All right. Now, talking about the recent sensation, which is Husn by Anuj, and I think I open my Instagram and that's the only song I hear.
I'm so happy. I always wanted someone there's that meme where people there's this reel template which people keep making where they show ki Instagram khola ye aaya and they keep that one thing keeps coming. And I was so happy the day someone made that for Husn, because I was waiting that we have that one breakout song that everyone covers in that particular way where it almost becomes annoying to hear it again. I was so happy when I saw that reel. Like, that day was personally one of my favorite days. One reel made my day.
I mean, you scroll it, it's there. Then you scroll it again, it's there. You shut it, you go to YouTube Shorts, it's there. So I think that there's this Husn X Let Her Go music, which is like 5-6 million views. And there's a Chulo version of it, which also I think the lead singer is represented by Represent.
Was represented. He's no longer represented by
Got
us.
it. But then again, that is there. I think these 2-3 songs combined have like 10-15 million views also, which is like a, it's like a cover remix of sorts. I really enjoy that as well. So all of this, was it just organic? But I'm sure there's a lot of strategy behind it. There's a lot of machinery behind it, which you must have strategized, built. What was that? Or was it all literally just organic?
There were few things that came into play. Number one was just timing of the release of the song. So we put this out in the first week of December, and Anuv had gone on tour the week before that. His India tour had started off.
Yeah.
And at all his shows, there were going to be at least 5 to 10,000 people coming in to hear him.
Right.
So, and these are core super fans who have spent like good 2,500 rupees to come and see him. So the people who really care.
That's a high ticket size, right?
That's a very high ticket size. And the people who really care to want to watch someone of that sort. So we figured that these are the people who we definitely want excited and activated once they come to the show. Anuv has a very limited and small discography. It's not like he has 100 songs. He only has 12 or 13 songs, and those are the only songs he sings on his shows. So when they get something new, they get really excited. So we started off with our Delhi show where Anuv performed it for the first time. It hadn't released yet, and it already got a lot of love out there. He then performed it at every single show, and from the shows itself, people picked up that song, and we got a lot of engagement, and we would get about 2,000 stories per show with just that song.
Really?
In it. Yeah, it was that high. It was that high. Like every third person would put up a story of that song. So
no, I think I've seen 100 reels. Sorry to cut you off, but like 100 reels, and out of them, 50 of them were either engaged with by you or no, like he has commented on it or you have liked.
We did that as well.
Yeah.
Where we saw it picking up, we saw it getting a lot of traction on Instagram right after that. Gravero, who's someone who makes these mashups, I think he loves Anuv's music a lot, and he does it very organically. So he put out a mashup very soon, which was the Let Her Go mashup.
Yes.
And that started getting a lot of traction. And normally one would, hold back from letting another version get that much love. You wouldn't amplify that at all.
Yeah.
But we decided that if there's any interesting content piece that comes out, we'll get Anuv to share it right away, or we'll get him to engage with it right away.
Oh.
So even on the Gravero remix, we got a lot of reels on which Anuv would engage, or even if he wouldn't engage, one of us would definitely engage. We would try as much as possible to highlight that content piece as much as possible. We obviously have a beautiful partnership with Meta.
Yeah.
Meta was very kind to, get us the banners. They got Anuv to perform for some of their creators at the end of your party, which again got more eyeballs for it. All of these things put together created this sort of massive effect for the song, which really gave it that kind of push. Another great thing was that, and this is purely from a music business or music ops thing, by the 15th of each December, the DSPs go on a break. So your Spotify, Apple, YouTube, etc., they've all gone on leave by that time. Anuv's song had come in the first week of December. For 2 weeks, a song normally stays in a playlist irrespective. And then after that, they decide whether they want to take it off, not take it off. But since they were going on leave, they had no option but to leave it there. And since they were on leave for another 2 weeks, the song was very well playlisted for another 2 weeks, which in most song cases doesn't end up happening. So he kept getting a lot of discovery through those discovery playlists, which normally move out in your first 2 to 3 weeks, but we had that for a much longer amount of time.
Wow.
And a lot more people kept discovering him from
insight.
there. This is a very strong insight. I don't know how often it'll work, but in this case it definitely did. All of these things kept picking up. Aayushman Sinha gave a lot of love to the song. Some sort of Bollywood validation always
correct.
Obviously helps.
I think Alia Bhatt shared it.
Alia Bhatt shared Alag Asman, not Husn.
Siddhant
Chaturvedi made a reel on it 2 days back.
Yeah.
So just so much love from community. Also, the song is about situationships,
yes, that
which
was
is...
He also shared it, I think, in an interview.
Yeah.
That also was going viral. That's when my interest in it like suddenly increased. कि ये क्या है?
The interview क्यों viral?
काफी अच्छा था वो interview. And then you read the comments of it. There are people like literally commenting and sharing their experiences and all that. That's when it like made a lot of sense to me. And then I saw the YouTube video ke comments. That was like a wholesome thing, but you were saying
there's so much about situationships that our country feels. I had no idea.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's so big. But I think everyone's gone through it in their life. Everyone's felt that way in their life, that one-sided love of sorts or whatever it might be, or not knowing where you're heading in a relationship. So that emotion really struck a chord with a lot of people. And I think that was the strongest factor, like irrespective of whether there was a remix of the song, irrespective of whether we had shared something or the other, I don't feel like the song would have had a different outcome. These are all good to haves, obviously, but I feel like the song would have still won in some way or the other. What's really cool is it's currently the second most streamed song in the country on Spotify. It's about 20,000 streams away from being number one. And it's at a time when Animal, which is probably the biggest Bollywood film India has had in a decade, has released. It's at a time when Shah Rukh has just put out Donkey. And all of that film music has come out together. Shubh has dropped an entire EP. All of these factors together, and like one kid with his guitar and just strong songwriting is still staying pretty much on top. So it's a very strong moment. I think you should dive deeper into it when you there's a time to plug Rise. So when you speak to Anuv at Rise, I think it'll be a good time to dive deeper into it.
That'll be like at least 30-40% of the segment will be just undiscovering that, because there's so much, not just in the song, but what went behind the song, emotions and the marketing aspect of it, which you just showed light on. Truly, like I think like I was with somebody and they had played this song, and organically sometimes I would just start singing Let Her Go also. So that's a kind of, and then all that was happening. So that's how ingrained the song has so fast become. Like it's just been 1 month or something. Like it's what today is January.
It's been about 45 days.
45 days. That's not a lot of time.
That's not a lot of time at all.
The song to become so ingrained in mind, brain, heart, everywhere. So
I feel like there's a lot more that's going to come with that song. Especially, I don't know when this podcast is, but tomorrow is the big Bombay show, which I hope you're coming to.
Yes, I am going to.
So I feel like that tomorrow's show is going to be really special around the song as well.
Yeah, and you guys have sold out the whole dome, right?
We've sold out 8,000 plus tickets
at a 2,200 price point.
Yeah, he's done about 1.7 crores in ticketing revenue, which is insane, like absolutely insane. For just a guy with his guitar coming, like that is having big fandoms and expecting them to come in at a 500 rupee price point is possible. You can fill in 500, you can fill in 10,000 people at a 500 rupees price point.
How do you build a brand out of a person? Like I see that you do it gracefully with Raj also. What goes behind? What do you do with your talent? How do you look at a talent like a brand? This is what you need to do. What's your framework with that?
Yeah, so every talent is a brand or a product. You need to figure out how you're going to package and sell it. That's exactly the way you need to look at it. You're the brand manager. That's the brand. You need to figure out how am I going to work towards making this brand more aspirational, yet attainable. How do I make them someone who's still relatable without changing anything that they do very organic. Like it needs to stay very organic, because the second you try to fake it, you'll have that initial boost, but then at some point it'll sort of start a plateau or you'll see a downfall. So for us, one, the branding exercise is very strong. How do we see a person, like with Anuv, in his case, he was a guy with a guitar, and that's what we've kept on saying over and over and over again. His press mentions him as the guy with the guitar.
Sorry.
Yeah. Even the audience now knows him as a guy with a guitar. People come to his shows expecting that he's a guy with a guitar. Anuv at one point wanted to start off with an entire band and have that entire band performing with him, which is normally what an artist does, where you have drums, you have keys, you have etc. You have a lot of people on stage. And that was one. I think that was the only time where I've really put my foot forward with Anuv and told him that ये नहीं होने वाला है, ये नहीं चाहिए, ये नहीं करना है. But he's like, bro, what if people get bored of the sound? What if like there's so much pressure on me to deliver everything? Like, what if that changes? I'm like, no, what you're doing is perfect. Even with Chetas, for example, we wanted Bollywood dance music, or anytime a party song is played, or someone at a club, the first name that should hit their head should be DJ Chetas. If you're going to a Bollywood club, and we did everything to make sure that entire positioning is there, be it starting his radio show where he was playing 2 hours of Bollywood music, be it starting a TV show where he was playing 2 hours of Bollywood music, making him the DJ for IPL, for KKR, when that entire time was really hyped about, who's doing what for a particular team when the IPL had just started off, getting him to perform inside the Big Boss house. So right now Chetas is number 1, and whoever might be number 2 is probably a 5th or a 6th of the brand that Chetas has built around himself. So that is the kind of leap and advantage he enjoys at this given day. His price point also, if you compare his price point versus any other Bollywood DJ in the country, it's almost at 5x of their fee.
And what about MC Stan? Like we spoke about Anuj, but MC Stan also
is a beast, man. Yeah. He's a beast. His community is probably the strongest community in the country right now.
80,000 people live at like 2 a.m. to working with. Recently you did a campaign for Firebolt with Dhoni.
Yeah, which has gone mad viral.
Yeah, 100 million views or something I saw.
I'm sure it's crossed that.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. It was 102 million on Firebolt's Instagram page. Yeah. What is that, bro? That's insane.
But that is crazy fandom, and I'm sure at some place even Dhoni must be wondering कि ये कोई और campaign, like Dhoni is the fucking king.
Yeah.
But even he must be wondering कि ये और कोई campaign में ऐसा तो नहीं आया है.
Got it. But how did that happen? Like, did you crack the MC Stan deal also? How do you see the MC Stan brand? He has been with you for almost a year and a half, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he's been around for a year and a half. Apu from my team cracked that deal.
But Nagar.
Yeah, it was one we had to obviously explain to Stan that it's obviously a great collab with Dhoni, but at some place you need, like though Dhoni obviously knows you all have spoken in the past, all of that is there. But you still need to, on this ad, it will come across as he doesn't know you and he's just searching about you right now. And it's a lot of people would take offense to that. A lot of people would come with a lot of egos and say that, how can you search for me? I'm the biggest rapper in the country. I'm one of the most followed people across various different platforms. So how can someone say that they don't know me? But he was very graceful in understanding that, and he said that this is a narrative the audience would really like, and it would do really well for the brand as well.
Yeah.
So he was very kind to agree to do that, and we saw the response to that. Like it's absolutely beautiful. It's probably one of the most exciting advertising pieces I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that worked really well. In terms of MC Stan as a brand, I don't think anyone can put a definition around it. He is himself, and that is his brand. MC Stan is the brand. There is no way to sort of there's no way to articulate the right way of doing it. He's a cult in himself. He's a movement in himself.
Yeah.
He's one of the most unique personalities in our generation at this time, and everything he does has such a strong community backing. It is absolutely insane. To know that there are 1 crore people standing by you for whatever you want to do, I think that is really powerful, as well as it puts a lot of responsibility on him as well. It's so funny that he puts out a song and within an hour and a half it's trending at number 1 on YouTube. I don't know, like that's the kind of love his community gives him. When we sit with the Spotify, they tell us that the day an MC Stan song drops, we see an entire spike in our daily active users for those 72 odd hours when a new song has come in, because so many new people have come in all of a sudden to watch him live, and they eagerly wait for those kind of spikes to happen as well.
But where is that cult coming from? Like, is this just authenticity?
It's very authentic. It's people who have who live in those kind of neighborhoods, who've lived that slang, who've really seen that lifestyle for themselves. They've been following him right from the start. They've seen the meteoric rise he's had. They've seen the success he's had. And now a lot of them want to reach the same levels of success as him in whatever way they can. And he's extremely aspirational for such a big part of the country.
Got it. And your first ever campaign was with Mr. Khan, Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
And how did that happen? What's the story behind that? I remember seeing I think you shared it during his last to last birthday, and I was like, "Ye kahan se aa gaya?" And then it was 4 years ago or something like that. How did that happen?
Shah Rukh Khan is someone I absolutely love and adore.
Yeah.
I think I call myself one of the biggest Shah Rukh fans, but there are obviously a few more bigger than me. But like, I break down every time. I don't know why I have this really strong affinity towards that personality.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Same values, no? Humility, empathy.
Yeah, a lot of what he says just resonates so much.
Yeah.
And like the small gestures he makes and just the things he does, it's really kind and heartwarming. And I feel like that is that is the kind of personality I aspire to be.
Yeah.
I'm not fame hungry or anything of that sort, but just like to be able to get that much love and respect from people is what I really want in my life.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to build towards, and that's what I keep trying to do as well.
Yeah.
You'll see that pattern now. Now that I've said it, you'll start observing that in my personality of people.
I already have seen that.
But yeah, so Shah Rukh Khan's business manager is this incredible lady called Miss Karuna Badwal.
Yeah.
She's also his co-producer. She runs a lot of his businesses. She is an absolute boss. She's one of my mentors as well. Her son was my college senior, and I'd gotten very close to him, not knowing that his mom is Shah Rukh Khan's manager. But I'd gotten very close to him, and he told me that, when you're getting into this entire journey, you should speak to my mom. She'll be able to guide you better. So even when the entire Lost Stories Jack and Jones thing happened, I made a deck, I went to her, showed it to her, asked her if this is the right way to approach a brand, because she's done brand endorsements at the highest possible level the country has ever seen. So she's been this mentor guiding force who's sort of there to just help channel energy in the right place. And we had just gotten incubated under JioSaavn. Represent was first incubated under JioSaavn. I don't know if you know this or not. So in 2019 we were incubated under JioSaavn. 4 January was day 1 for us. And before that we were already working with JioSaavn on this massive project called Biba, which was, I used to manage Shirley Setia that time. So, and Marshmello and his entire team, Moshe Lisi, they've been incredible friends of mine for a very long time now. So we got everyone together to put this song out called Biba, because Marshmello was coming down to India on tour, and we wanted India to become his strongest market at that given point. So we were working on a music video, everything was going together. The Savan team was working really hard on that music video, and Dharma was the production house. I was working on it, and they sent a treatment which the team was showing me to get my inputs on it, in terms of that this is how it's going to look. And that video had a lot of iconic moments from 90s Bollywood movies at that point, and it had various different films in it. And me being the Shah Rukh fan that I am, I was like, let's remove everyone else and let's just make it a tribute to Shah Rukh Khan. That is way more marketable than if you package it with too many different actors. At that time we didn't know whether we will be able to pull in Shah Rukh Khan for it or not, but I said let's just make it a tribute to Shah Rukh Khan, because that is one thing which I know for a fact that a lot of fans would really appreciate. And Marshmello is obviously a character with a mask on, so he can be anyone that he wants to be. He can embody any personality that he really wants. So we changed the music video treatment to only be around Shah Rukh Khan. And at that point I asked the JioSaavn team that is it okay if I pitch this to Shah Rukh Khan and see if he'd be interested to do a small cameo in the end. And they were like, yeah, if you can get him at the right price, then for sure, but we don't have a few crores to shell out for this. To which I then went to Karuna ma'am and took her through the entire treatment, explained to her how this is one of the biggest pop culture moments in the country. Marshmello was obviously, he was the top 5 artist in the world at that time, and him doing something for India would have been really cool. And this entire music video was obviously a tribute to Shah Rukh Khan in the end of the day. So just to see Shah Rukh Khan for 5 odd seconds in the end will really break the internet, and people will wonder what the hell is happening. And she thought I was crazy at first to bring this up, but then she said she was very kind to take it to Shah Rukh and pitch it to him as well, and he was pretty excited by the thought of it. We explained that this is a great moment.
Did you sit one-on-one with him and explain it to him?
That had happened as well, but a lot of the pitching was done by Karuna ma'am, and she explained to him that this is all happening, and he loved the idea. Luckily, I think one of his kids was also a fan of Marshmello and filmmaking in general, so they were really deep into. Aryan was a big filmmaking fan, and he liked the way this entire treatment had also come across, so they all felt it was a really cool thing to do. And I still remember it was my birthday, 31st January. I was at my birthday party and I was half drunk, and that time Karuna ma'am calls me and I run out of my party, and that's when she tells me that okay, we're on, he's agreed, we're good to do this, we're shooting in the next 3 days, so make sure everything is absolutely fine. He's not going to travel very far for the shoot, so make sure you all are doing this and my poop, make sure everything is sorted. And yeah, that was all we needed, and it was it felt like a personal victory that one, you were able to work with someone who you idolized so much. At the same time, you were able to start off your agency with a association with Shah Rukh Khan.
So where do you think the music industry is heading right now in India? And I remember we did that London event together, which was more about India-UK relationship, and you mentioned that in UK is like a bridge towards the US. First India is going to conquer the UK, and then we are going to go to the US. And I thought that was I didn't quite get it at that time, but I thought that this is it's an interesting outlook कि पहले UK करते हैं फिर वो करते हैं. What did you mean by that? Like our Indian singers are also gonna go global? Is that what you meant? And
Indian
overall,
singers are definitely going to go global. I think it's going to happen in these next 2 years. By 2026, we'll have a global Indian superstar for sure. I personally feel that the UK is going to be the first market to accept Indians singing in English or an Indian global superstar in whichever format, whether it's Hindi, Punjabi, English, whatever it might be. But I feel like the UK will accept it first because I've interacted a lot with at least the platforms, partners, etc. there. They have their eyes and ears open and they've been extremely warm and kind to understand that this is the kind of culture of music that could cross over into our world. Also, India and the UK have such strong ties from the time that we were obviously not independent and they had taken over us, that a lot of cultural influence still exists between the two. So I feel like that one region as a whole is going to resonate a lot with the kind of music that we're going to put out over time. And it's the only country that has the infrastructure for Indians as well. So the diaspora population is already massive out there. Indians already sell out massive arenas out there in their traditional Bollywood shows. It already has India-focused radio stations present there. So I feel like
guy there is a Desi.
Yeah. So I feel like the entire ecosystem is the strongest in the UK for us to cross over. And I feel like once you break the UK is always tastemakers for music for the world. And I very strongly feel that people think that the US is the one that's running it. I genuinely feel that the UK are the tastemakers, and I feel like from the UK it's going to travel all over the world.
Got it. And music industry in India? Are we going to see a rise of independent music?
We've already seen a rise for independent music. I think that conversation of whether independent music will stay or not is sort of mundane now. It's about how these experiences are going to be better monetized and how people are actually going to monetize off this entire movement now. It's a great time for Indian artists right now because you have distributors that are ready to work with you, advance you money to put out whatever music you want. You have ticketing companies that are ready to advance you money to put together a show that you want to do. So financially, you're in the best place possible where without any capital, I have people ready to want to work with me. If I've done, like if I'm slightly hot, if I've done, by hot I mean obviously if I'm in the moment right now, I'm trending, I've done really well. People around me are going to surround me to want to do more with me. So without giving up anything, you have people ready to fund you to do whatever you want. It's about how people are going to create more lasting impact. I feel like people are starting making music for reels now. I feel like people are making music from a marketing lens now. So once those things sort of get eliminated, once people had that realization that this is not necessary.
You're not a supporter of that?
Not at all. Not at all. Husn was never a song that was meant to trend on reels. It did because people felt that they were in this situationship and they wanted to talk about it. So I feel like you need to make songs for people's emotions, and then if it picks up on short video, that's the blessing that you get. But don't make it specifically for that.
Nice, bro. I think I haven't told you this enough, but I'm a silent admirer of what all work have you done and you do and your LinkedIn post stories. I always watch it. I read your captions and all that, and you know, I really feel like you are a few of the people. I feel the same about Harshad also, and I've told him this. Like, I look up to her. I would want to replicate in some kind of form. Like, it gives me hope that this is the scope keh lo, this is the kind of impact you can do, this is the kind of people you can work with. And I personally feel that I'm not very good with emotions or like sharing emotions and feeling emotions. I've sort of chip covered them in the corner, and then I see you who are, you know, who's vocal about it, who's you somehow have this energy to like feel for it, and you show me that it's a strength, it's not a weakness. I have always been of thought
it's definitely a strength, and please do more of that. I was exactly like you were when I was just starting off, bottling all the emotions away.
That's right.
And purely focusing on work and you know, I'd built this image for myself at that point, saying that this is the guy that can get you anything that you want, or he can get anything done, or you can go to him and get anything sorted. And that's what Raj told you as well, I think. But in that entire run to try and please everyone, or in that entire run to keep everyone happy, you start putting yourself so much behind that people forget that you're an individual as well who has his own needs, wants, etc. So I feel like I've reached a balancing point right now where I'm very vocal about how I feel about things. I'm very vocal about how I want to be treated on certain things as well. And I think that balance has been the most beautiful thing now. Now people won't just ask me for things; they will
exactly this.
They will reciprocate.
This I don't have.
Yeah.
Boundaries basically. Boundaries of sorts, or like expectation setting.
Boundaries लोग अभी भी follow नहीं करते हैं जितना भी try करो, but it's gotten a lot better, and I think I've started feeling like now I don't feel like this inward need to want to have to like
please everyone.
There are people I love and care about, and I will do everything for them, but it's no longer community service.
God, bro, thank you so much for doing this. It's 2-hour long conversation. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you feel the same.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. See you in the next one.